long way.
It really would. And we are back into Champion Select. And as we mentioned before, Nexuses have, or Nexi, have the same amount of health, the same amount of turrets protecting them, and the same amount of minions cascading from the Nexus. So they
also get to pick the same number of champions.
They can! And the only difference is that they have different players piloting said champions. But maybe they can get some of the better ones. As the Orianna, the Varus, the Xin Zhao this time are going to be banned away. DN SOOPers now with first pick once again. And we'll see what this decision is going to be.
Well, notably, they banned the Jarvan last time. So I could imagine them going Ezreal again here and then going for Jarvan first pick. No, they're going to ban the Jarvan. So Ezreal being left open and available this time. Karma, I think, needs to be banned in this situation. And I guess you could deny it. If they go Ezreal, you go Karma. But they did ban Karma last time, and we'll see if they go in that same direction here.
Oh no, the Jhin Karma answer to the Ezreal. But instead, it will be the Karma banned away. And just have to see what is coming through afterwards.
You know what they were talking about on the space, Pabu saying in particular that the team just needs to break it down to the simple things your champions can do and execute on that. One of the things that ran Rise Group last year was the Annie Wukong. And I think if that's what they're going for here, that is pretty straightforward. You just press your ults together, you engage, you just pick a target, kill a target. Those sorts of compositions work well.
Let me bring you back.
Gen.G won't
they're going to deny it? They're going to deny the Kizager from the DN SOOPers? Oh, this is so rude. It is going to be the Lucian picked up here, wanting a Milio, but they don't have it yet. And we'll see whether the DN SOOPers do decide to deny that one. We have seen Milio paired up with a couple of other things.
Yeah, I mean, Milio value is pretty high into Annie as well. So I wouldn't be super against if they pick it up. And as much as Lucian Nami is still a thing, definitely feels like it's weaker than the Lucian Milio. So we'll see if they opt to go for it. Instead, going for the Sion on the top lane, trying to give a stable pick.
Whoa!
The DuDu and Akali comes in. Not the most fun playing Akali into Annie, but it's a Clozer special, and definitely feels like they're trying to pick some tools that can shut down a Lucian when it comes to those team fights.
Yep, and Akali being alongside the Wukong is definitely much better than playing into it. So not having to worry about that one for the moment is definitely a good thing. The Milio was incredibly face-up and was going to be locked in, but does mean that they can now protect the top lane matchup and make sure that DuDu is as comfortable as possible on this Sion. Not entirely sure what Kiin wants to play into it, and obviously there are quite a few things that do work, and there are a few schools of thought that you can take into a Sion matchup, but we'll see what they do decide to take away, as the Nautilus is going to be denied as well, as the DN SOOPers do want to lock away an entire bottom lane.
Well, one of the things that people have been playing a lot into Sion recently has been the Ambessa, and that's been taken away by game one, so definitely getting some help in that regard.
Thank you, Fearless.
Yeah, gonna take away the Gwen in this situation.
An oldie, but a goodie.
Not throwing any more bans towards the jungle. There's still the Nocturne potentially available, the Pantheon, the Vi as well. So I feel like a lot of options there for Canyon to lean on. And we'll see Gen.G banning away the Nautilus. There's still Jhin, Ezreal, who have stronger early lanes. You could go for the Lulu to deny like Yunara Lulu. But I think there's still a spread of stronger laning AD carries. You know, we've seen the MF and the Jhin have decent priority, just being able to lane well into various matchups. I think that would go a long way. You need something with a strong 2v2. You don't just get bowled over. And it's the Trundle ban, which I guess there's a lot of value of that into the Sion.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't mind that one at all. Canyon is a little bit of a troll aficionado as well. So denying that one away from him makes a little bit of sense. Why do I feel like Kiin is just going to play Renekton, even if it's Renekton into Sion and it's not exactly the most fun? I feel like it is going to happen. They could hold on to his pick as well until they see the entire composition, as this would be Kiin being allowed to have some fun.
We've been seeing Kiin play more and more Vayne, I feel. We had those earlier performances which didn't go so swimmingly. Everyone remembers the Vayne into Aatrox.
Hey,
that happened.
Undefeated this season, okay?
Yeah, this season he's been bouncing back in a big way. Having some pop-off games. There was that game 2 that we had recently against KT, where it looked like KT were winning the game and he came up huge in the team fights. Corki Nami going to be the pickup from DN SOOPers. Something with a decent lane.
Is Canyon allowed to play Zed? That would be fun.
No, it seems the answer is
he has to play
no.
Tree. All right, this is actually going to provide some frontline, though. I think that kind of makes this composition look real for Gen.G. A lot of these Vayne comps just kind of look wacky, and you're not really allowed to play team fights, and you just kind of have to win skirmishes and then win the game from there if you're going to make it work. Gen.G have been able to do so, but this, you can team fight with this.
Yeah, there's a lot of lockdown, and I think the Akali might have some tough time. Point-and-click CC, very effective against the Akali, and they have that from the mid-jungle. They have set up for the AD carries. The AD carries are shorter range, so I think that might be something that DNS can play around. And they have that Sion who can kind of body block when the Nature's Grasp comes out. But ultimately, there's a lot of threats on Gen.G and a lot of CC. It's kind of like you hold them, I'll hit them.
Yep.
Style of composition.
And if you try to CC them, they've got a Milio. And so he's going to make that one very, very difficult. That being said, looking over the other side, the DN Soopers have a Wukong, which is go in, knock them up a couple of times. You know, the tidal wave is going to be there to layer it across. You can connect bubbles relatively easily. And then Clozer on this Akali can get a whole bunch of damage down. I think the Kizaja does actually exist in this comp because they have the Sion as well to provide that very reliable front line. I think that this one might be easier to pilot than what they had on the Rift in game number 1. But Gen.G also have a very robust composition and some pretty good players. Let's get on and see whether the DN Soopers can do it. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 2. The DN Soopers trying to fight back against Gen.G. A Gen.G that are trying to claim sole possession of second place here in the LCK, at least for a moment. With a 2-0 here, T1 can then match them with a 2-0 of their own, and then it'll be a tie for second place.
You want some positivity?
Yeah.
Right now, DN Soopers on pace for a perfect game.
Oh my goodness! I'd never thought of it that way. I do have a counterpoint.
Yeah?
Gen.G, if you see, also on pace for the game.
Oh, true. Yeah, I didn't...
Yeah, so, I mean, it does kind of depend on where you're looking. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see whose perfect game is going to stay alive for the longest, as right now, Ruler getting a bit of a shield and is able to get a fair bit of harassment down onto deokdam for the moment. But no real catastrophes just yet. And I think a lot of what we're going to be looking out for is going to be happening in the jungle matchup. And that jungle matchup isn't necessarily the most dangerous in the early levels. Obviously, Maokai can, lock people down with a Twisted Advance Bramble Smash sort of combo and things like that if he gets into a lane early. But Pyosik is not going to be ganking anyone until he hits that level 6. That's when he gets any form of CC. And Canyon has taken first strike. He's looking to put little landmines around the map and really try and make some money off it.
He's looking for the super saplings. Also, we're seeing the popularity of Cutdown rise massively. Wow. He's getting a lot of harass down, though. But I think 5 people there had Cutdown with them. We're seeing this rune so much more often. And the numbers it puts out is kind of crazy. Especially when you have Canyon, who's going to be going those quite poke-heavy saplings. And Chovy's going the trifecta of Deathfire Touch, Cutdown, and Scorch. Just so much free damage in the runes, which is making it a little bit difficult for Clozer to survive. The Akali's always weather the storm, rely on Second Wind, Orange Shield to keep healthy. But when extra damage is put in the game on the back of runes, there's like a threshold for, you take damage, you sustain back up, you take damage, you sustain back up.
Oh, good bubble is going to connect onto Ruler here, as the Fire Kick will even out the trade quite nicely here for Gen.G. Once again, Canyon will be able to claim the first scuttle. And this time, we'll see whether Pyosik is going to pass the Pabu test and actually back up his bottom lane. And it looks like he is, at least for the moment.
Yeah, make sure...
Wait. Will he cancel the back? That's the question. He hasn't yet. He doesn't. And so Canyon is here. And we'll be able to clear out this ward as well. Does spot him on his way over.
Canyon already picked up the bot side scuttle. Oh, he's just going to throw saplings down and be annoying.
Oh, dear. Well, deokdam is not going to back. They do have vision, so they will be able to see when Canyon comes out of the brush, but he still will come out of the brush. and he still will do exactly what he did in the last game. He does make his way forward with that twisted advance, flashes out of the way, this time needs the heal from Duro, but he gets it. And let's see whether Duro is just going to start this one up and give the double kill to Ruler. He will. I've seen this before, Aux.
Yeah, I also saw this before. Canyon, the only one from Gen.G to burn his flash, also happened last game. deokdam and Peter, they still have their flashes. So it pretty much exactly the same as last game.
I thought that they were listening to Pabu and they did the learning.
Well, it's a good bubble for Peter even. But unfortunately, the heal that comes out from Duro...
Yeah, it was summoner heal, right?
Yeah, allows Canyon to stay alive. And then they reset the turret aggro. So the turret shots, the fact that Duro can take 2 and just walk away, resetting the ramping. Just really well played by Gen.G. Clean dive.
And even if he couldn't take 2, he had flash, so he was going to be fine anyway. Didn't actually have to use it. deokdam and Peter hold on to their flashes once again. Very similar to the last play.
So it's a rough start for
I would say so.
Gen.G. Last game was also... Sorry, a rough start for DNS. Last game was also a rough start for DNS. Yeah.
I was waiting for, like, the but.
No but.
All right. It's 5 minutes. We missed our update window.
I'm just assessing.
You've got a minute, or at least 45 seconds until you do have to get your thoughts in order. Because
wait, look at the graph.
Oh.
Look at the way Game 2 is now. It's basically exactly
identical.
Yeah. It's exactly the same. They dove at the same time.
All right. I've got the positive. So, if it does continue going the same way, Gen.G decide to do happy gaming at around, 20 minutes into the game. As now, Canyon takes a lot of damage. Pyosik goes down to basically nothing. Ruler also looking a little worse for wear. The DNS, they get underneath their turret. No one dies, and the bubble is going to go wide here. Duro at full health, just looking to be a menace. We'll be able to kick deokdam aside for the moment, and plates are just raining down here in this bottom lane.
Yeah, looking a little tough right now.
No one died, though.
No one did.
Hang on.
Get.
God, no! Okay, he's all right. He's all right. And the train looking to come through and help out. That is Duro flashing away. DuDu gets in there. The fire kick is decent. Clozer is rotating around as well. This should be a dead Milio. And DuDu walks away. Let's Clozer claim it. And that is 1 kill back over to the DN SOOPers.
This was different to game 1.
Yeah, bring up that graph again.
So able to find an opportunity to punish the aggression from Ruler and Duro. They were really going hard and trying to punish them on the tower. I don't know exactly what HP deokdam was at. When I looked down, he was at 8 HP. But he'd regened a little bit by then, so
my gosh.
That is like the least health possible that you can have and still be alive.
That's 1, right?
Yeah, I mean visually, it was like barely even a slither. And here, they find Duro, so that's a positive. Gold for Clozer, gold for the Akali.
There you go.
Which is needed because he was falling behind in lane, although not as much as I thought potentially was going to be the case, considering Annie has a lot of harass.
Ruler once again going to get exhausted. Sidesteps the bubble nicely, though, as we can see, relentlessly pursuing his opposition in this bottom lane, and will hit level 6 to gather the culling and look to soften up these players. But not going to quite do enough.
My concern there is the trade was about even when Ruler was exhausted and they didn't use barrier and heal.
All right, potentially a problem. For the DN SOOPers looking at the
non-ideal
culling cooldown. Bear. There's just a whole lot of stuff you can do against getting a bear thrown at you, isn't there? As Chovy going to pull Tibbers back, not going to allow that 50 gold to go over to Clozer. And Clozer is considering going back home, but does need to catch this wave. Chovy is going to let Tibbers help him out with.
Out of our current pool of mids, I think Annie is just...
Oh, we missed another update window.
We did.
Aux, you said we were going to change.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's just hard to keep tabs on every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Are we on struggle street right now? It's kind of feeling that way. 2K gold lead at 8 minutes.
It's certainly large. As Pyosik comes on over, does take his Grom. Level 7 here, so has Cyclone at the ready. But it looks like Ruler and Duro will create enough distance to keep themselves safe. No dragons being taken just yet. And last game, Gen.G were able to take that first dragon very, very quickly. This time around, it's Pyosik that gets a little bit of priority here. And we'll be able to at least start this one up.
I don't think we're quite on Struggle Street yet. Maybe we're on difficult driveway.
Aha!
That's the point, you know, leading to Struggle Street.
Yeah, I grew up with a little bit of a difficult driveway. It then backed on to Struggle Street.
Yes.
Afterwards.
That's what DNS are hoping doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, let's see whether they can change where the house is located, much like in the Wizard of Oz. All right, that is going to be the Drake secured by DNS. Looking absolutely fine. It's a difficult driveway, but they're navigating it.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job so far of making sure the game doesn't bleed out more. And there is a decent amount of engaged potential threat to get on top of this Lucian in team fights. And he has a lot of the goal lead Gen.G has right now.
Yeah, and he is still very, very scary. Ruler is a big deal in this game. But we've seen Lucians picked, and actually, like, they go well in the early game, but then it's dealt with later on, right? He's quite low range, does need to hard commit if you're going to get the damage down, and that can be punished.
Often when doing that, it's when you have reliable CC onto him. And to be fair, they have the Wukong, who can just dash to him and press R.
Ow.
Difficult to outplay. That's a lot of damage. That's...
Why was Ruler able to dance underneath the turret and the turret didn't notice? That doesn't seem very fair.
Sometimes the turrets are a little bit sleepy.
Yeah.
Okay, more weight that time.
Yeah, that one certainly figured it out. I actually thought that one was going to be a little bit more avoidable as DuDu. If at first you succeed, try and do it again, I guess.
That's a good message.
Yeah. Spotted just barely. Oh, no. They pinged him out, so they know exactly what's going on. And DuDu, I think, thinks that he's unseen. But unfortunately, Gen.G knows exactly what's going on.
It's a Lucian. It is not the easiest target to Sion. I think they're kind of banking on the fact that Ruler and Duro were so aggressive. And now that they're not walking up, DuDu just has to TP top.
Yep. And there is the tumble to the side to avoid the colossal smash there from DuDu.
He's not been having a fun time in this lane, as you don't, as Sion to Vayne.
Probably could say something like, I'm absorbing pressure, or something like that.
As
there comes down once again. Flash out from Clozer, just doesn't want anything to do with this. As Flash Twisted Advance is a range you need to be very wary of. And he was aware of it. Made sure he got out. Kiin, very quiet game so far, but has just been farming, like a lot.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Until you get to the late stages of the game, where you can just turn up and be a Vayne in team fights.
So far, so good. Does now have his Hex Plate done. As Canyon and Pyosik sharing some blows here with the defense of their bottom lane, but there's the Brambles coming out. The Nature is grasping as the Fire Kick actually doing a bunch of work, but there's the Cyclone as well as the answer, and it's the Nami that locks down the kill onto the tree. Pyosik able to make his way out as well, and the DN Soopers even out the kill score.
I know we were saying this was just like game one, but Canyon overextending on a tank jungler in the bot lane and dying, that literally just happened in game one.
True. Wait, is it just the same game repeating? I know it's Fearless. We tried to ban the champions, but we couldn't ban the play.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start like fearlessly banning like map rotations.
Yeah, like saying, okay, Canyon, after game one, you're not allowed to dive that bot lane at level 3 again.
Yeah. You actually have to like, you have to go to different camps in a different order every time.
I like how we got the overlay of the different gold graphs from the two games at that moment to kind of illustrate it's a little bit different.
And this looked okay from Gen.G to start it off.
But I like Pyosik's move of using the clone to block the Nature's Grasp and then just turning that damage round onto the Maokai. Wukong having a lot of burst available.
Yep. And Maokai's not very tanky at this stage, right? Does want to rush Leandri's first, then builds tank items, but at this point, you're the most susceptible. And even though Pyosik doesn't have the Trinity Force completed just yet, it is able to be enough to take down the Maokai.
Canyon was spending a lot of time focused around bot lane, has fallen behind a little bit in terms of farm compared to Pyosik, which is a big difference from game one, when on the Skarner, he was kind of just leading the charge and a good amount ahead in terms of farm. The goal lead's still only 2,000.
Yeah, hasn't moved. It's not up and to the right like it was last time for Gen.G.
We're not going towards Struggle Street right now.
Nope. It's a difficult driveway, but like we were saying, they're getting through it.
Yep.
And as this like gold lead remains, and it is actually dwindling somewhat, you're going to have to come up with another name.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got 25 seconds to do so.
25 seconds?
Yep,
Oh,
sorry.
the pressure's on.
Yeah, that's when we'll get back to you for the update. We'll leave Aux out in the field trying to do some research, figuring out exactly where this game is at. No, you're out in the field, Aux. You're not allowed to say things, okay?
Oh, sorry.
Not yet. You got another 9 seconds, then you'll be able to say some things. I'm going to say some things about what Ruler's going to try and do to Clozer here, as Canyon moving up as well. Shuriken backflip, not going to connect. And now over to you, Aux.
I'm thinking Mellow Motorway.
Ooh, that sounds like a Yoshi game.
That does. I would play that game. Or a Kirby game, maybe.
Yeah. I know that, what was it? Yoshi's Woolly World had a mellow mode, which is like no difficulty at all. You're just chilling being Yoshi. It's the best. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, if this game continues at this rate, they'll be able to get onto the Mellow Motorway.
All right, well, let's see whether that is exactly where we're going, or whether the navigation is going to tell us to take a turn that we do not want to take. As teleport in from Clozer towards his top lane, but it is still going to be some money going over to Gen.G, as the Drake is going to be secured. I believe that is Dragon #1 over to Gen.G. No, that's Dragon #2 over to DNS, and it is a Chemtech Soul. Unfortunately, Aux was too busy brainstorming like road names, and he didn't actually stop the Chemtech Soul from coming on through. That culling actually doing a whole lot of work here. As Canyon looking for an angle, yeah. As it does get stunned up, the Shroud is now on cooldown. This turret on its last legs, but does still have some, even if they are the last ones. Fast Bomb connects onto Ruler.
You know, at this point of the game, last game, there was a
significant exhaust onto Ruler as he gets next to his turret, and that is enough to save him.
There was a significantly larger gold lead. So 2 dragons in pocket as well.
Yeah, I'd say DNS are almost close to winning.
Okay, that's a little, maybe a little premature. Fight over Rift Herald might be a deciding point.
Yeah, and in goes Pyosik. There is the Nature's Grasp as well as Clozer trying to execute Duro, and he doesn't manage to do so. Now Ruler sinking his teeth in, trying to get that damage down, and the train will show up, bypasses them as Chovy flashes out of the way. The flash to follow, but in the interruption is just too good. Mega Cone ejects the little girl from the situation, and Gen.G will just take the Rift Herald and leave.
No one died there, which was kind of crazy in this situation. Gen.G able to get the Rift Herald and get away from a sticky situation. It looked close, a lot of summoners burn. We see the play starting off, a lot of focus going down onto Duro and Canyon, which the fact Ruler's so low in HP at the start of this, and he just skirts away, plays the safe distance, Clozer's so close to being able to take out Duro, the flash to save him. And then, I mean, we're on a motorway, so I'm not sure what a train is doing here, but Chovy is not interested.
It is certainly a shared motorway, let's just say that. Sharing with all of the different perambulation methods. That's all right. Gen.G now back to just sitting in this mid lane. We do have a 3.3k gold lead now, so it has extended just a little. We have to remember, dragons are important. Last time they weren't able to get quite as many. And 2.5 minutes, and they can get themselves towards Soul Point. And we do like to meme about Chemtech Soul. I actually think that with this composition, it can find a lot of value.
Yeah.
As they have a bunch of healing, and they have a Sion.
And also, you're playing into a poke Maokai, so you'll be under half health pretty quickly.
Yeah. And in fact, Gen.G just do a lot of damage, so being under half health is somewhat reliable. Don't know whether it's a good thing. It's almost
deokdam was nearly under half health there, but then he got healed by Peter.
There you go. And then by the Honey Fruit.
Okay, there's the comparison. So as you see, quite a bit higher was...
They've doubled how good it is in comparison to the last one.
You saw the path upwards from Struggle Street to Doomed, then it was back on Struggle Street a bit, then it was up to Doomed. Here, we are definitely just hitting that line of Mellow Motorway.
Yeah. And, you know, it's... They also can just turn off to the difficult driveway if they want to, right? And they need to get there before Struggle Street is even a conversation.
Yeah.
It's all right. Shelly is going to look to deliver them there. We can see gets a bit of a headache and is going to help extend that gold advantage as this turret is very close to going down.
Oh, we passed the even numbers again. Yeah, I think the gold lead has expanded a bit with those tower takes. I think maybe we have.
Maybe we could do a late update?
Maybe we're on difficult driveway at this point.
All right, so difficult driveway is the 18-minute. That's the 18-minute call.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. All right, Pyosik is looking to try and drive us back somewhere else, though. entirely sure where, as Peter takes a lot there from Ruler. 2-item spike coming on through for the Lucian is a big deal. And Gen.G just playing this one a lot more close to the chest, is what it feels like.
Yeah. Not as explosive as Game 1 in terms of the advantages they're able to pick up, but they've managed to get bot tower, top tower, the T1s, and also nearly taking down that mid-tier 1 tower, just had a sliver of HP. And Dragon in 30 seconds. If I'm DNS, perhaps
you want to
could let this go.
I mean, you could, but also I feel like you do want to accelerate, don't you?
I think the big thing for me is that deokdam, he's close to the mirror mana, but he's not there. It's just one dragon. It's just
yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. I think you could let it go and wait for when deokdam is really spiking, but we see them looking to set up for it.
And Pyosik can get engaged on here momentarily. Does use the warrior tricks to defensively in order to get out of this battle.
I mean, right now, Clozer is pushing top, so if he wants to get some plates, get some gold there, that could definitely be a game plan to go for.
Can teleport in at a moment's notice as well, as DuDu stunned up for a moment, and it does take a fair bit of damage here. This should be the outer turret falling in the mid lane, and Gen.G are also starting up this dragon. There is a ward in the banana brush that is going to be pretty valuable. With the Drake falling down, Gen.G claim even more control of the map, and Pyosik has to walk over all these saplings, takes a bear to the face as well, and it's going to get it turned on him. Chovy goes down, deokdam collects the kill, the Drake goes over to Gen.G, and now Canyon gets over the tidal wave with a twisted advance. The culling just finds the air though, and Clozer looks to get into the backline. Can he get revenge as Duro a decent sidestep? Ruler getting behind the rest of his teammates, and Clozer takes down the Milio this time. Ruler though is on full health, and he's looking for a pentakill, as he always is. Pyosik gonna be going down. It's a double for Kiin though, and he says, I'm sorry, it's a triple or nothing, and he may not even get that as the bubble is gonna connect onto Kiin. These 80 carries are running rampant. It's a double apiece, and Gen.G will claim the advantage once again.
Even though the start looked good for DNS, unfortunately they didn't have any tools left in the tank to deal with these carries from Gen.G, the 80 carries. Chovy gets focused down here very quickly, but they burn a lot of Pyosik's health bar, they burn the Wukong ult, and deokdam ends up in a position where he's already super low HP, so they start to turn around the fight, but once again it feels like so much of their efforts are focused onto Duro, and although they get him, Ruler's still free hitting, Kiin's still free hitting, deokdam's still super low, the health bars have been whittled down, DuDu goes down, and then Kiin is just free to chase down these kills with the movement speed from his ultimate.
And escaping a Vayne is just a difficult task at the end of a team fight. This is the problem. If Gen.G win a fight, they really win a fight, right? The final hour, not to mention just the passive of the Vayne.
So
things tough.
Dragon picked up. It's now almost a 6,000 gold lead.
Oh no, don't tell me.
You know, we have 20 seconds.
All right, okay. Well, yeah, don't tell me because it's not time. But also when it becomes time, I don't want you to tell me. Oh dear, I'm really scared of where we are. I really liked the mellow motorway. Even the difficult driveway reminded me of home.
The mellow motorway is a long way away.
Yeah.
We are on Struggle Street right now for DNS.
No.
We're back to Struggle Street. It's a pretty big gold deficit. You look as well at the difference between lanes. Look where all the gold is. It's the Vayne and it's the Lucian. That is not what you want.
Yeah, I feel like that's sort of precisely where Gen.G would like to have their fun.
Yeah, and deokdam does now have the stacked mirror mana, which I feel like is something he would have loved to have in that last fight.
Yeah, he would have in fact loved to have it like spawning from base. As Kiin is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Gets taken out. Good pick from Pyosik to punish this Vayne. I'm not entirely sure what Kiin was doing.
Okay.
There.
Looking for Scuttle Crab, it seems.
Uh-huh.
Well, good pick up there from DNS. I feel like last game, a lot of their advantages when they came back into the game, we're looking for these picks.
And it was about exactly now in the game as well.
Yeah.
Clozer is going to get set up on. Gen.G decide not to go in on that. The rest of DNS making their way over. Man, this turret is just taking a lot of damage, and it looks like DNS are not going to be able to stop it from going down, nor can they really safely get to the minion wave to take that out either, as there is a Corki sieging in the mid lane at this point in time. Actually going to be able to take a plate or two. And there is also DuDu on the Sion, trying to make things happen in the bottom lane as well. Kiin will finally respawn, but I think DNS utilized that time with only 4 of Gen.G on the map pretty well in order to get a lot of these lanes in a better position.
Yeah, I agree. And closing down that gold lead a moderate amount has made things a bit better, a bit more bearable. They do have some big item spikes that came in. One thing I'm worried about is Ruler. If he hits IE right now before we get that dragon fight, it's going to be really hard to deal with him. This was Kiin just one of the Scuttle Crab, and he doesn't even get it. He gets smited.
Yeah.
Devastating. At least if he died for the Scuttle Crab, he could say, well, I may have died, but...
Exactly.
I got... No, not even that.
No, a little bit unfortunate. Pyosik hits 2 items off the back of that one as well, as the Sundered Sky is now done for the Wukong. He's pretty scary, actually, in this game. Only down by about 150 against Canyon, who has gone full AP, by the way, outside of his shoes. This Maokai is really trying to do damage.
Yeah, I mean, those saplings are really going to hit. And it's going to make it so difficult to get in a position where you're threatening flanks with things like the Akali or the Wukong. They are just continuing to pile on pressure. And Kiin on this Vayne is a bit of a difficult matchup for Clozer on the Akali.
Yeah,
25 seconds on the Dragon, and we did see Ruler pick up the Infinity Edge. So he is incredibly strong right now.
And has the largest gold lead on his team, has the most gold on his team as well. As, yeah, he's able to just walk up with impunity. The extra range from the Milio certainly helping out here as... Oh, what? Okay, well, goodbye, I guess. Clozer comes in, decides not to do anything. Wait, is that just one sapling? Was he at full health?
Back to full health now.
Oh, there is a bit.
That's a bit more damage to the sapling.
Yeah, I would say that he's not at full health now. But Tibbers is also at an empty health bar. It's just not going to save the Drake take, as now Clozer gets condemned into the wall, and maybe to death as well, although he does flash to get himself out of the way. Pyosik now looking to try and turn this one into an engage, but Kiin not going to be bamboozled this time as he flashes out of the way. Clozer goes in, and he goes out via the death chamber, and now Chovy does have flash, and we'll see whether he needs to use it. Looking for a Q angle, and
the red buff!
He just uses the red buff to chase after him.
So close.
Chovy holding onto the flash there was crazy, by the way.
Kind of autoing down. I mean, Annie has such a long auto range.
And it's funny, because the auto range was nerfed. Remember when, like, support Annie was a thing forever, and the way that they gutted her was to just remove the auto range? Still feels like that auto range is kind of silly.
Yeah, I think it's 600 still? 625.
625.
Wow. Yeah, even higher than I thought it was.
That's much higher than Lucian's.
Substantially. Maybe Annie should be the one building these 80.
Yeah! Heck.
Then we see how the fight plays out. Oh, no, never mind, we don't.
Oh, wait, deokdam is just dead. Good bubble there from Peter after the fact.
Okay, they picked up Baron. They got a second dragon. Gold leads 7,500.
Oh, no, where are we? Wait, we missed the window.
Yeah, we missed the window.
How many updates have we? We've not missed a lot of updates.
We've been slacking on these updates.
We really have.
If we were doing weather forecasts, we'd have been fired by now.
Absolutely, and I actually think that like those that gave us the feedback saying that we should probably be better at like sticking to the game and things like that. I mean, I think we failed them. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
As Ruler gets so much shielding.
Yeah, he saw Ruler being pretty low on HP and thought, I can kill that. And then Duro pressed a lot of his buttons, and they were very good buttons, and that stopped him from dying. And now they have to deal with the siege threat from Gen.G. DNS don't have great ways of dealing with waves.
Yeah, the range is somewhat low. deokdam does have long-range rockets, and there's a tower falling down. Oh my god, deokdam's health bar! He just came from base! Oh god, okay, well this bottom outer turret, inhibitor turret is going to fall, and the mid is going to follow suit as Kiin just stuck around. 3 items have been completed here for deokdam. But as you said before, he would have liked them a whole lot earlier. As Canyon going to get engaged on. Remember, this is a very attack version of the Maokai, and that is going to be Clozer going in and going out very quickly. Pyosik is going to do the same thing as the rest of DNS. I mean, at least they have a Sion to stand behind, but I think Peter and deokdam are still in a whole lot of trouble because DuDu's health bar just evaporates. And yes, this is hit doomed very, very quickly. You can see it's 28 minutes onto the clock, and Chovy finds the double stun. Ruler will go down, but not before taking the entirety of DNS with him. And there is the 2-0 and second place here for Gen.G in the LCK.
Getting the 2-0, definitely going to help them. Now T1 have to match that if they want to keep neck and neck with Gen.G.